I'm Connor Hale, 30, and this is the story of how one family dinner turned me from the quiet disappointment into the man who pulled the plug on their whole illusion. I grew up believing love was a quiet contribution. Pay the bills, fix the problems, stay in the background, earn your seat. My mother, Patricia, ran the show. Tessa, the baby and only girl, got the spotlight. Ryan, the middle responsible one, got the excuses. I got the tab and the eye rolls. I skipped college, taught myself woodworking in Dad's garage, and by 24 owned a custom furniture studio that quietly hit 8 figures last year. I covered Ryan's DUI lawyer, Tessa's multiple creative sabbaticals in Bali, Mom and Dad's new roof when the insurance balked. I never asked for a thank you. I just wanted to belong. Sunday dinner was at their freshly painted colonial, the one I'd paid to repaint after the hail damage. I arrived with a bottle of small batch bourbon and a hand-carved serving board I'd made from reclaimed barnwood. The table glowed with Mom's signature spread, food I'd quietly Venmo'd for when the grocery budget ran short. Talk flowed about Tessa's new wellness coaching gig, Ryan's promotion, Mom's upcoming Viking River cruise. No one asked about my newest line launching with a major retailer or the spread in Architectural Digest. Then Mom set down her glass and delivered the line like she'd saved it for dessert. Connor, we love you, but you're 30, successful, independent. It's time you stopped acting like this family owes you a living. We can't keep carrying you. The room went tomb silent. Tessa sipped her wine. Ryan studied his potatoes. Dad buttered another roll like it was surgery. I felt the laugh rise first, short, sharp, because the delusion was Oscar-worthy. They thought I was the burden. They had no clue I was the foundation. I folded my napkin, set it beside my plate, and stood. Thank you for the honesty. Mom frowned. Sit down, honey. Pie's coming. I'm good, I said, voice steady, almost kind. I walked out without raising it. The screen door closed with a soft click that sounded like the end of a chapter. That night in my warehouse loft, I opened the folder labeled Family Ledger. $740,000 in transfers over 12 years. The Colonial's new roof in my name. The mountain cabin titled solely to me, a bonus from a silent partnership they assumed was shared. The grandkids' 529 plans controlled exclusively by me. I didn't rage delete. I methodically revoked access, canceled recurring payments, and triggered the reversion clause on the cabin. Every confirmation email felt like a breath I'd been holding since I was 18. The panic started 72 hours later. Ryan called first, frantic. The twins' Montessori tuition bounced. What did you do? Tessa next. Mom says the cabin's off limits for spring break. Connor, this isn't funny. Mom left a voicemail that swung from regal to ragged. We're your blood. You can't freeze us out for one comment. I invited them to the cabin to talk. They arrived in one SUV, looking like they'd aged a decade overnight. Mom carried her famous pie like a white flag. Dad clutched printouts of old agreements. Tessa and Ryan trailed, eyes red. I waited on the deck in jeans and boots, coffee in hand, keys to the gate dangling. Inside, I laid the evidence across the reclaimed oak table like cards. Transfers, mortgages, cabin deed now irrevocably mine, 529 statements listing me as sole trustee. Mom went ash gray. Dad whispered, "You paid for all this?" Tessa actually gasped. Ryan swore under his breath. I let the silence do its work. "You told me to stop leaning," I said quietly. "So I did. The cabin is mine. The trusts are mine. The roof lien releases next week, meaning the bank will demand full payment in 45 days unless you refinance a loan." Tessa tried outrage. "This is extortion." "No," I answered. "It's boundaries. You wanted me self-sufficient. Congratulations." Mom reached for my hand, tears spilling. "We didn't realize." "You did," I said, gentle but absolute. "You just assumed I'd never notice." Dad's voice cracked. "What do we do now?" I looked at the people who'd spent my life, making me feel like the spare part in their perfect picture. "You figured out," I said. "The way I always have." I handed Mom her empty pie plate and walked them to their car. No one hugged goodbye. 7 months later, the Colonials sold at a loss. They downsized to a townhouse. Tessa took a corporate job she used to call soul-crushing. Ryan started weekend shifts at a big-box store. Mom joined a seniors budget cruise club. They send generic birthday texts now, no money, no guilt. I turned the cabin into a maker's retreat for young craftsmen. Every weekend it's full of kids who finally get to be loud without apology. I still love them from a distance that finally lets me hear my own hammer. Some call me heartless. I call it harmony, because the day they told me to stop leaning, I finally learned to stand. And the sound of my own workshop these days? Worth every nail. I stopped driving for them.